Do you want to use cool boss abilities in overpowered ways? Do you want to astound your friends and blow up your enemies? Do you want this ugly mount? Do you want an exceptional solo and group experience in the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV? Then you should be playing Blue Mage! I'm Sichas Sparklebomb, and in this video I'll give you a crash course in the basics of the job to get you Party Finder ready as quickly as possible, and point you towards the resources you'll need throughout your journey as a Blue Mage. This is the Blue Mage Primer. Lolly-ho, Blue Mages! This is an extremely fun job with lots of varying challenges to offer. Depending on what kind of content you're interested in, there's even a bit of profit to be had. We'll be going over how to unlock Blue Mage, how to quickly level to 80, and what spells you should grab right away. All of this is in the service of getting you to a point of self-sufficiency so you can enjoy the job at your own pace. A Blue Mage is a spellcasting limited job. A limited job means that it's, well, limited. It's this weird off-to-the-side thing. It plays completely differently than other jobs and does things no other job can do. Blue Mages are currently capped at level 80, which means they are not intended to be used with late-game Endwalker content. This saves the development team from having to balance current content around Blue Mage abilities that are, by design, extremely overpowered. Unlike every other job in the game, Blue Mages do not learn any of their spells by leveling. You learn one as a part of the quest to unlock the job, and afterwards you're on your own to learn spells, which we'll talk about how to do in just a few moments. Unlocking Blue Mage starts in Limsa Lominsa, right off the Aetheryte Plaza. Over here there will be a cat wearing some yellow clothes. Because of course, for unlocking Blue Mage, you'd want to talk to someone wearing yellow, I guess? They're not showing up for me since I've already done the quest, but cat girl, yellow shirt, right here. Talk to her. Follow that quest for a while, and you'll meet Martin. Shortly after meeting Martin, you'll fight a big octopus who will attack you with water cannon. This is your introduction to learning spells as a Blue Mage. Fight a monster, have the monster attack you with the spell that you want to learn, and then defeat the monster. There are some nuances to that we'll discuss later, but that's the gist. Once you've learned water cannon and have received your intro gear, you can hit pause on your job quests for a while and get leveled up to 80 before continuing and save yourself the trouble later. Now for leveling, I strongly recommend you get someone to power level you. Blue Mages get a substantial bonus to XP obtained in the overworld, and especially if you combine that with some XP boost items such as Memphine's Earring, you can get from 1 to 80 in around 90 minutes. To do this, you just need a friend who has a level 90 job. Then head to Labyrinthos. There are a bunch of packs of mobs around. I had good luck here and here. There were plenty of mobs available with very little waiting for respawns. Now, very importantly, you should not be in a party with the person power leveling you. What you're going to do is pull the mob as a Blue Mage, just water cannon it, and then run away, and preferably not into other mobs. Once you've tagged the mob, the power leveler kills it, and your XP bar starts exploding. That's it. Put on your favorite TV show and rinse and repeat. Now that the whole wide world of Blue Mage is open to you, let's get into the fun stuff. First off, spells. And let's begin with how to learn them. After encountering a monster with a learnable Blue Mage spell, the basics are, hit the monster, at least once. Then you've got to wait and make sure it uses the spell you're trying to learn. In your log filter, there's an option to show enemy actions. This allows you to see exactly when the cast happens, because sometimes they're instant and then you don't see that show up in the enemy cast bar. Lastly, you need to defeat the monster, and very importantly, you must be alive when the monster dies. If you're doing group content, it's totally fine if you die during the fight, so long as you're raised before the enemy is defeated. Learning spells is guaranteed in dungeons and raids if you are level synced. If you're running unsynced, then there's some RNG, and you may need to try defeating the monster a few times before you learn the spell. Learning spells in the overworld is RNG based since the overworld is not level synced. You're going to wind up doing a lot of Party Finder to obtain spells, so get comfortable with that. Before you head into Party Finder though, there are some key spells that you're going to be expected to know. There are also a few spells that you should just have for your own solo use as well. These 5 spells are all unlockable solo as a level 80 Blue Mage. Ultravibration, the Ram's Voice, Choco Meteor, Glower, and Basic Instinct are all great things to know, and I might even go so far to say that this list is in priority order from top to bottom. Let's go through them. Ultravibration is, in my opinion, the pinnacle of Blue Mage nonsense. It instantly kills everything within range that is frozen. If you can freeze it, Ultravibration will kill it. This has a long cooldown though, so once you're in a group, you'll probably want to coordinate with what order people will use their Ultravibes. This is why it's critical that at the very least you have Ultravibe before heading into group content. To unlock Ultravibration, head to the peaks and head to 1126-ish, where you're going to look for these big nasty wasp-looking things called Kongamato, and they're around level 68. The Ram's Voice is a great AoE spell that'll freeze everything around you, which you can then Ultravibe and destroy. You can get this right away from Chimera in Cutter's Cry, or you can also get this via the Masked Carnival. However, you're going to need to fight what amounts to the Blue Mage job quest boss for A Realm Reborn in order to do that, so might I again suggest Cutter's Cry. Choco Meteor is also an AoE, and in non-instanced overworld content, it is the best spam spell we have. In instanced content like dungeons, it's fine, but there are better options. But in the overworld, it's incredible because as soon as you whip out your Chocobo, the spell potency increases from 200 to 300. Considering your Chocobo is also helping you out with its own abilities, this is the bread and butter of absolutely tearing through fate farming with large swarms of enemies. You learn this one in the Dravanian Forelands at 3428-ish from these red Courser Chocobos, who are level 53. Glower is the easiest to get spam spell that we have. I don't think it's the best, personally I'm fond of Sonic Boom, but it gets the job done to get you going. Glower is from the Coincounter in Aurum Vale, but Glower is special. I told you before that if you're running dungeons unsynced, there's RNG to learning spells. Glower, though, is guaranteed, making Aurum Vale, a level 44 dungeon, a breeze at level 80. Glower lets you shoot lasers out of your eyes like Homelander, so enough said, go get Glower. Lastly, I recommend picking up Basic Instinct. You'll be soloing a lot of dungeons as a Blue Mage, and Basic Instinct helps out a lot with that. It's a toggled ability that stays up as long as you remain the only party member and you're in an instance content like a dungeon or trial. It doubles your damage and gives you a 30% boost to your movement speed, so you're basically sprinting all the time. Basic Instinct is learned from some master Coeurls in Upper Noscea. Once you have Ultravibe, Ram's Voice, and a spam spell, jump into Party Finder and start unlocking stuff. But this is where we should talk about resources because I'm about to turn you loose on the world. All of these links are in the video description. Your number one resource is the Blue Academy Discord server. This is the place to be. There are a ton of pinned posts highlighting incredibly useful information. One of the first places here that you should hit up is the resources channel and have a look at this resources menu post. You should also leverage the looking for group channels as a way to find parties for some of the content that doesn't seem to pop up in Party Finder very often. The second resource is Bork's Guide to Starting Blue Mage. This is linked in the Blue Academy Discord and is incredibly well written and informative. This is worth reading top to bottom and keeping handy as a reference. Next is the Masked Carnival guide from Icy Veins. There are a lot of guides out there for this, but I just really enjoyed this version. I haven't talked about Masked Carnival much yet, but it's important and you should do it. It's how you advance the Blue Mage job quests after a while, and there are a few key spells, such as the Blue Mage tank stance, that are locked behind Masked Carnival. This Icy Veins guide will tell you which spells you'll need and how best to use them. Finally is, honestly, Google. You're going to be looking up lots of spells and lots of quests for how to unlock content so you can learn spells. The Blue Mage spellbook gives you some hints on where things are located, but if you can nail each spell location based off of that, well, good on ya. So that's it for the Blue Mage Primer. This job is the most fun I've had with content in Final Fantasy XIV, and I really hope you enjoy it, and that this video was helpful for getting a jumpstart into understanding what the class is and how it works. A smile better suits a hero, and the color blue better suits a mage.